Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Casper Association Community Call, hosted and run by Casper Association. We are joined by Piotr from Casper Association, Meta from Casper Labs, and Andre from Synthify. We will open up for Q&A towards the end of the call. Handing it off to you, Piotr.
Thank you, Ashley. And as usual, we start with technical update on Casper Network. Today we have very good news in terms of the development in ecosystem. But before we dive into that, I just want to give you a generic update on what is the current timeline for the project. So we are working towards the staging another patch for 1.3 release on testnet. That's a good news. So we were able to catch some minor bugs in the code, and we are already improved that with patches that being tested on our internal network. And now we are staging this for testnet validators. If this will go successfully, I got our estimations from SRE team that around Thursday, 1.3.2 will be activated on testnet, and then we will leave it about a couple of days there just to make sure that everything is working smoothly. If you are interested, what are the exact changes that we made, you can go to our release page in Casper Node repository. There you have a detailed description of all the changes. If you would be interested about the high-level overview on 1.3, there is updated blog post that is announcing the version 1.3. There you can check what are the main features that we introducing in 1.3, and from there you can dive in also to our GitHub and other sources for more information. Going back here, as you know, we are very much focusing at Casper, especially in ecosystem, on NFT. And today I have a bunch of good news for us. So ecosystem team prepared several releases that are related to NFT. So you already know about the design that we have under our code CEP47. So that's the new standard for NFT protocol that is provided by core team of Casper. Here you can read how does it look like, how does it behave, and this is our theory, our technical documentation for the implementation. And the good news is that we already announced today that CEP47 smart contract is ready. So I'm just showing you the source code that is in open repository called Casper-NFT-CEP47. So here you can see all the business logic. We also provided the tests for the smart contract. You are free to play with that to check how does it work, how it's developed. And in a couple of days, we will also provide more documentation. So bear with us here. We will get you with tutorials around that as well. On top of that, we already prepared the JavaScript library that tremendously help you to interact with the smart contract. So it's again in our Casper ecosystem organization, Casper-CEP47JS client, where you can see how you can use this library to power up your dApp, your very own dApp that is basing on NFT concepts. So if you are willing to create this kind of platform or software, please check here. I think it's a great entry point, especially for full stack front-end developers who want to start playing with NFT concepts.
Yeah, so one thing that needs to be clarified, so everybody understands this, is that NFTs, the features in CEP47 require Casper Network 1.3.2, right? So that is going to testnet today and will be going to mainnet next week. So one of the cool things that we were able to do is, as the features are being built out in the base protocol, we built an tandem with that, a smart contract that implements those features, right? So there's a new feature in CEP47 that's called Dictionaries that allows you to manage a list of many things and reference it within that list without affecting global state storage. And so this is specifically a feature in 1.3.2 as well as get call stack. And NFT, the NFT protocol implements both of these features. So just a thing to note, and that it does require 1.3.2. So back over to you, Piotr.
Thank you very much, Meda. So this is about NFT. We have also updates from Alexander. Alexander, if you could tell us what happened during the last week in research team.
Yes, certainly. So first of all, we are finalizing the spec for the our generic NFT auction, right? That should be compatible with essentially any CP 47 implementation, right? So once we finalize the spec, which might even be today, we are handing it over to developers to actually write the production code. Additionally, we are continuing to work on gas and storage price models, which is of course a long-term project for us. We have started to look at intersection of zero knowledge proofs and information disclosure models in economics. We were already doing that last week. We're still doing it this week, and we're going to continue doing it for a while. Our doctoral intern Mingzi is in charge of this. And I am personally continuing to work on a simpler reliability model that I presented to one of our clients last week, and basically cleaning it up and delivering sort of a self-contained version of that analysis.
Thank you very much for the update. Moving on. With regards to Casper Mainnet, it's up and running stably. We have over 7 billion tokens staked. We have 95 active validators out of 121 bits. There's important announcements for mainnet validators. Soon we will also announce when they need to stage a new version of our blockchain protocol. So there you should watch our Telegram channels and be prepared to download the binaries and make sure that they will be staged in time. And also, as we introduced this information last week, there's an open registration form for one of our blockchain explorers, where validators can provide more information about themselves. And after successful verification, they will be able to provide this description, a logotype, the name of the validator, and that also provides the contact point for the users who will be able to check closely on the behavior and on the status of the given validator. Then, one second. Then the next news is that as a team, we are in the middle of feature the first in the middle of the Q3 development cycle. So we have already 1 month past developing new features for 1.4. We have 1 more month to accomplish this work. If you want to check what is currently on our plate, there is a release plan that is available for you to for review. We opened the discussion document that is pinned here. We have our project inside the roadmap repository, where you can see in details what are the features that we are working on. And as for the suggestion from the community, we added more description inside these epics. So the most prominent ones, they are coming with full description. So if you would like to see what is exactly our reasoning behind the given feature, check them out and provide us more feedback. It's very much welcome. With that, I think that we can close the technical update
You
section.
want to provide an update
Yes.
on the ledger integration? I believe we have
Yes.
that on the list. And then, yeah, folks are asking you to zoom your screen a bit because it's too small for them to read.
All right, so let me address this first. And as for the ledger, we are on the last stage. So we published the required documents, and now we are waiting in the queue to be approved as a project. So I talked to our lead developer, who is responsible for that. We have only last touches with regards to final approval, and hopefully soon we'll be able to announce the good news that Casper Ledger app is ready to be used and downloaded.
The document that Piotr's talking about is the security review of the Ledger app from Trail of Bits. And that was shared on Telegram this week.
Yes, indeed. Moving on, DevExDAO team, are you with us?
Hello, hello.
Hello, I'm giving you the screen.
All right, all right. Give me just one quick second. Okay, so it has been yet another incredible week in the DevExDAO. There's tons of new stuff to talk about, but I'm going to only focus on the ones that are highest impact to Casper right now. And the biggest one, the one that's absolutely hugest for that one, is Uniswap Clone. This has been something that's been working its way through the DAO for a little while. You might have heard me mention it before, but now it is going through formal votes, and it's already been underway for over a month now. And the intention is to get a sequence of what are they called? Contracts. They're called smart contracts. Ready for the Casper network here in the next 6-ish weeks, which is a blistering pace considering how long it took for the first couple of clones to come up. And there's also allotments here for a proper security review. So folks will be able to see, something like a Trail of Bits style sign off on the fact that all of this was done very well and properly. Another thing, this was something that folks might have heard about as well. We have another SDK working its way, another Casper SDK working its way through the system. This one's about to get approved. We had one of the most illustrious members in the Erlang community, Robert Carbone, come to us and basically say, "Hey, I'm really excited about Casper. Really excited about a lot of the technology they're bringing to the table, and I feel like it is the time for the Erlang community, the community that underlies a lot of the basic financial or basic communications and network infrastructure that knits the internet together to get involved in a blockchain." So Robert has been coming on and talking to us for almost 2 months now, like basically figuring out everything that he needs to do to make sure that this SDK is as helpful and as self-documenting as it needs to be, right down to taking advantage of property-based testing, which is what Erlang works best with. It's one of its killer apps, as it were. So once Robert really gets into this, he's like, his tests are not only going to prove that everything works, they're going to be demonstrative about how everything's semantics and how they function. It's really exciting from that perspective. But I'm super happy that that Robert has decided to come along with us. Beyond that, we also have the translation efforts continuing to go forward. We have a Russian translation coming this time. The Russian community for both the DevExDAO and Casper is absolutely gigantic. And we really have to owe it not just to all of the people who are stepping up to translate the Casper tech documentation into their native language, but also to Mohammed Kara, one of the primary contributors to the LibreOffice project, who has been helping us keep all of this organized and working together, so we don't have 500 different translation efforts that all need to be worked out. And then finally, there is the testnet rewards part 2. Everybody's been waiting for this with bated breath. We've been making certain that everything here is completely correct and works with all of the things that that our testnet community members have been promised, because they have been absolutely indispensable to the continued operation of mainnet and the continued smoothness of all of the upgrades that Meta's amazing team continues to bring us. So, you know, like this is we're working through. This is the DevDAO paying bills and recognizing the amazing effort that has been put forward on Casper's behalf. And like I am absolutely excited to have this happen. So that is the brief version of this week in the DevDAO. Passing it back over to you, Piotr.
Thank you very much. And as now it's our tradition that we have also one of the grant participants with us. So today we have Andre. Andre, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Piotr.
Superb. I'm leaving you the screen. I know that you have a presentation you would like to share some slides with us.
Let me share the slides. Can you see the slides now?
Yes.
Okay.
So please introduce yourself, your project, and we can start on.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me here today. I mean, it's been great to work with Casper and the DevDAO. I'm pleased to talk about our project here. I'm Andrea Bertolassi. I'm the co-founder of Synthify. My business partner, Remo, and I, we started this venture not long ago. And today we'd like to talk to you about our project with Casper on this ORI, on-chain risk intelligence tool. Our vision, and I mean the road to achieve this vision is quite long, but we would like to build a cross-chain risk intelligence tool for financial crime prevention and fulfillment of regulatory requirements. In a way, the financial industry is on the verge of a revolution with the decentralized distributed ledger technologies, but still anti-money laundering is performed as of the past century. So we think it's time to change that. And before going into details of what's the problem and what we're doing, I mean, the big question is why Casper and the DevDAO? And I think for us, choosing Casper is very strategic because Casper has this focus on an enterprise optimized chain. And if you talk about anti-money laundering, financial crime prevention, you don't even need to do a pitch for enterprises. They know it, it's a must for them. On top of that, Casper is on a build-up stage. We believe there is a great mutual benefit in building up together. The community is great. It's a very collaborative, innovative, professional. The team is accessible. It's fantastic. And on the DevDAO side, I mean, it has been amazing experience with them. It was a very smooth experience from day one. The process is transparent, it's very clear. There is a clear communication. There is a competent community management. You can reach out to them on Telegram when you're filling the form during voting phases. You do a pitch, you get, and the best is that you actually get feedback from people with different backgrounds. I mean, not only technical, you get on use cases, everything, before you actually go for final voting with your proposal. So it has been a great experience there. And it's a great thank you for both of you for supporting us. And on the DevDAO, the guys building up this DAO from scratch. I mean, thank you for that. Now, what is the challenge that we see on the crypto world is regulators are kicking in. There is a tighter regulatory requirements for crypto-related transactions. To name a few here, I mean, Switzerland, the EU, UK, and the US, they have been imposing more and more regulatory requirements on crypto transactions. In a way, those that were in the crypto space years ago, they knew this would come sooner or later. And I believe it's actually a good sign. It means that it's going mainstream. It's not only a niche product anymore. It's achieving the broader crowds, and regulators will naturally kick in. That's not bad per se, but it's still a challenge to comply with that for some of the chains out there. On top of that, AML processes and KYC are managed independently. It's each institution does that in-house. They have efforts doing projects for getting that better internal collaboration. They don't share much of the data among each of these institutions. On top of that, there is this crypto and fiat currency worlds. The communication is not working so well. But the problem is that the crime occurs across jurisdiction in both crypto and fiat worlds. So we need a better solution there. In a way, in my opinion, the crypto world is actually better to trace, to spot financial crime, because the ledger is public. You can see that. Whereas in the fiat world, you only see what's in your private ledger. I mean, it's in your the bank accounts with your institutions, right? As I said, the road of us is quite long ahead of us, but we have to start somewhere, and that's where this already started. This project, we are building some APIs, GraphQL and a REST API, with some resources to query the blocks and transactions. We first have to index those. It's the usual thing when you have to do analytics on a blockchain. We use our own Casper Java interface. We are going to integrate the Casper as the Java SDK as soon as it's out there and contribute to that as well. We would like to focus here on the bottom on this trace the coin features and to score AML on certain accounts. That's the core functionality that we're building on. And on top of that, we also have a graphical interface so that a compliance officer could integrate that on the system and actually develop their own metrics and their own dashboards. One example of what we're doing, this is great from distributed ledger technologies, is because you can trace the origin of the money. That's what we call by trace the coin. If you look at, let's say you want to trace the origin of the money in this account, you can easily trace back the coin and find where it came from. In a way, you can spot if there was anything suspicious or any financial crime happening here. You can then spot that maybe there is something wrong here. And what we also have is this forward trace in the coin. It's not that we're predicting the future, but if there was anything fraudulent happening on this account, we can know where it propagated. So you can build up these two key features for money for compliance officers to spot money laundering happening. And we also have other types of scores and rules based. I don't want to get into the details here. There are some of those, but just one example. It's what we call this flow-through score. What money launderers do often is to make the spotting or to trace the money a bit more complicated. You have many transactions in one account coming in and out with zero net value. So at the end of the day, you have a humongous network, and it's hard to spot if it's coming from a dirty money origin or not. That could be, if you spot accounts like that, could be an indication of money launderer. It doesn't necessarily mean that's the case, right? But these combined with other scores, you can have a good indication of yes or no in certain cases. These are the first step. Afterwards, we can move on to actually have a more model-oriented machine learning building on top of those, and comes with the vision for later on. That was it on our side. Happy to answer some questions. If you have anything, just reach out to us, or here to support you guys.
I have first question is what is exactly on your technical roadmap? So what is the nearest goal for you?
Yeah, the nearest goal here we have the REST, the transactions, the REST and the Graph APIs. They are ready. We are not. We didn't yet deliver our milestone because we have to write the documentation. Mm-hmm. It's a very important one that we have to do, and we just coded, and now we have to write it down and write the test and properly. So that's the first thing that we're doing the next couple of days and weeks. I mean, less than a week actually. And what I'm actually looking forward is to work more on the visualization side and the dashboard, because from my experience, modeling data is, once you see some things, it feeds back on getting actually more measures, more metrics, and generating more ideas on what you could do to deliver more scores and more metrics to spot anti-money laundering.
Mm-hmm. So you plan both to deliver the business logic in a form of API and the service as like a DApp that could be used by community, or?
Yes, that's a good question. We have been, we are preparing all the Dockers, everything that you can deliver. The background, you can also, it's using Elasticsearch, so you can easily do the crawling of the network and everything. We didn't consider yet putting something live, but that could be actually something that we are planning to do, and if not in the near future, sooner than later, rather sooner than later. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Ideally, I mean, we were open to actually, if we don't need to create yet another Casper stats.live or a Casper anti-money laundering live, we can perhaps integrate it on something that it's already up and running. That could make it even a stronger selling point there.
Great. Do you have any questions to this part?
No, I just want to congratulate you guys, Cintify. This is a great presentation, and really appreciate your support. And we are here to make sure you're successful.
Thank you, Madam. Happy to hear that.
Thank you, Andre.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anything else, Piotr, or do we wrap it?
We have one slide about the summary from the Amazon conference. So Meda, if you just
Yes.
yes, let me share the screen. 1 second, I'm regaining the control.
Yeah, so we had a great time, sitting with folks at AWS and doing a panel on DeFi and AWS, right? And so we talked a lot about total addressable market and financial systems and what our approach is. And I think you can catch the video on YouTube. So the full panel is available there. But all in all, it was really, we really had a meeting of the minds in terms of, what's needed in the space and how well that aligns with what Casper has built, right? Casper Labs built for the Casper protocol. And so all in all, I felt like the panel was really, really exciting, and just more confirmation that we've actually, we've built something that's got us great product market fit, right? That there's definitely a need for what it is we're building. And our message resonates with enterprises and businesses, and that we have a real opportunity in the space to go dominate. So it was really fantastic. And look for some more really interesting and exciting updates coming regarding our collaboration with Amazon Web Services and Amazon Marketplace. So back over to you, Piotr.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this update. I think this was our last slide. So Ashley, Joe, do we have any questions from the community?
No, I think they've all been answered.
Great. Ashley, I think we can wrap it up.